Once again, good afternoon, everyone. So we have enough strength, so we can start. And 537 roll number. So guys, at least take care of where exactly you are playing your songs. Anyway, so I hope everybody got clarity on yesterday's topic which we have covered so far. And today we are gonna how exactly we can raise exceptions and how exactly we can various type, or maybe we can say like type or various ways how exactly try with else clause and try with finally clause we can use exceptions. So let me just share my screen with you all so that we can start from where exactly we have left yesterday. So let me share my ppt. Yes. Now, I guess I hope I have cleared you all this particular topic, because I was explaining you about how exactly try and multiple except are present, or maybe you can say like a one try clause can have any number of except clause to handle maybe different exceptions. So, however, only one will be executed in case of exception occurs. Okay. So now hope this clears you all. Now we can move forward and we can let we can see what exactly the raising exceptions. So in the exceptions only we have these are the exceptions are being raised when some error comes at runtime. Also we can raise it manually using the raise keyword. Okay, we can also pass values to the exception to clarify further why particular exception was raised. Okay, so if you want to check that, you can just write raise and keyboard interrupt. So everybody aware about keyboard interrupt is one way of you can say like one of the type of exceptions. So you can just mention raise keyboard interrupt. So now what you will get here, you can see like what exactly exceptions you are getting. It is keyboard interrupt. Now suppose if you wanted to pass some message, then you should have to mention over here like I'm gonna raise memory error, and inside that I am just gonna pass one argument. So this is an argument I am writing. Okay, now one when you will run this raise memory error and you will pass this optional argument, and when you will pass your optional argument, which is nothing but this is an argument, then you might have seen here the difference between these two exceptions are nothing but just argument. Okay, if you will look into closely here, you can see what exactly we are getting. Here I haven't passed any argument. Here I am going to pass one argument. So when I pass one argument, in the front of my exception name, I used to get my message what I wanted to print here. Okay, so this is how you can say like we can raise an exception. So maybe you can raise this in runtime, or also maybe when you wanted to raise it manually using raise keyword, because here what I have done, I have just raised it manually. Okay, so that is what here I have showed you. Now I hope this clears you all. Now let me do in front of you these two exceptions, how exactly this is being performed on your Jupyter notebook. If I'm gonna show you Jupyter notebook, then you can see here. So here let me write exception handling. In exception handling, I am gonna do what I'm trying to explain. It's a raising. Okay, how I'm gonna raise. So guys, you are able to see my screen? If yes, so I'm gonna raise. So let me write here raise one keyword, and then just write any sort of exceptions. So maybe you can write keyboard interrupt. So let me write keyboard interrupt. Let me see whether this is correct spelling or not. So here it is saying keyboard interrupt is a wrong. That means you have to define it some other way, or maybe you have done some spelling mistake. here you can see it is saying it's a exception handling, or maybe keyboard interrupt, it is printing like this. Same way, this is one sort of exceptions. Now, instead of this, if I am gonna raise same thing and I'm gonna write something on the exception. So let me write here. This is an argument. Let me run this. You can see here in both the cases, after the keyboard interrupt, we haven't got anything here. Now here we are getting this is an argument. So because that is what we wanted to print in the message. So this is how you can create your own exception and you can mention what message you wanted to print for that. Are we clear? If yes, then please let me know. So again, let me move on to exception handling. We are raising exceptions. Once again, just look here. As exceptions are being raised when error occurs at runtime. So the definition is same. Also, we can raise it manually using raise keyword. We can also pass value to the exception. To clarify further why particular exception was raised. So basically why we are trying to pass argument to know user, or to let the user know about what particular exception does, or maybe for what sake this particular exception has been raised. Okay, so here I am having a simple try and basically accept example, which I am gonna show you in front of you all in my Jupyter notebook. So let me share my Jupyter notebook and then you will see through the example what I'm trying to do here. Now if I'm gonna write here what I have done, just first you have to understand what statement I am giving here and what statement I am writing here. So I have used try. In try, I am trying to take the input from what? From user. So please enter a positive integer. Now, and second time, what I am trying to do is, if my number, whatever the input user has, given, is less than or equal to 0, that means what? This is not a positive number. That's true. Or else, if there is value error, which is nothing but the user defined. Is it user defined or what? No, that is built in. So value error. Now and print v, then what is going to be happen? So here you can see I am trying to use except as well as try. I have done nothing here so far. So if you will run this, let me see what output I am getting. So suppose you have entered 2. I'm getting nothing. Let me run again and let me write -2. This is not a positive number. So that is how we are able to access, or we are able to handle this. Guys, are you getting my point or not? So here we have got these two, or maybe if you want you can print as per your need, or maybe as per your thinking. Now let me move on to the next. So are we clear till this point? I hope everybody got clarity on this. Okay, it's basically nothing but we are just trying to take and check the whether it is the input is positive or not. Okay, now we can move further and we can try to see how try can be used with else clause. Okay, so how exactly that is gonna implemented, we can say. Now here, if try block runs without any error, okay, at runtime, along with that we want to run a certain block of code in else part, then we can use else keyboard option. Guys, are you getting my point? What I'm asking is, if you will write try with else, what exactly the output are you going to get? Or do you think like that can be possible? First of all, let me ask like this: do you think like that is possible? uh, if yes, then please do let me know. See, in front of you I have mentioned clearly, there is one example which is written there, and I have given some sort of explanation there. Maybe I will cover it up, but before that I just wanted to know, do you think is it fine to write else? So many of you are saying yes, that is possible, and that is absolutely correct. Why? Because whatever you are writing in a try, that is gonna handle in except block. Okay, if something goes wrong, that is also taken care in except block. And if something is not inside the try block, then you can write it in a else part. Okay, and make sure, please don't create so much confusion on your mind. Exception in the else clause are not being handled. So here the point is, you cannot write, or maybe whatever you will write in else part, or maybe what all exception you will write in else part, that is not going to be handled. Okay, that means all the exception which you wanted to handle, that should mention in very first try block. Okay, now here I have clearly mentioned what you have to write a program to print the reciprocal of entered even number. So what I'm trying to do with this program, I am asking you to write a program to print the reciprocal of entered even number. Suppose I'm gonna give input as in 2. What is the reciprocal of 2? That is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2, that means what is it? Is zero point 0.4? Is it 0.4 or what? It's 0.4. Now let me take this example and let me just code it in front of you all for in Jupyter Notebook. So what I'm trying to do is here, write a program to print the reciprocal of entered even number. Now I'm just gonna make copy and paste here. So let me just explain you about what exactly particular program does. Here I have written try block, okay, and here I am just taking input from the users. So that is why I have mentioned clearly, please enter a number. Now what I'm trying to do is, after that I have written here assert number modulo 2 is equal to 0. This is not an even number. Okay, fine. Then if there is any even number, then it is gonna complete. Now you can see here I want reciprocal of an entered even number. So whatever integer you will enter here, number you will enter here, that need to be what? Tell me. Anyone? Any else's? Okay, that need to be modulo with 2. And if that is 0, then that is fine. Else you can mention this is not an even number. If it is that is not even number, then we don't need to do anything. If it is if it all even number, then what it is? Then you have to reciprocal is equal to 1 by number or print reciprocal. So let me run this. Now I need to enter, anything. So let me write 3. How many of you are saying we will get good result? So what is that? This is not an even number. Now instead of 3, let me just run again, and instead of 3, let me just write 4. So we are not getting anything, or we are getting something. We are getting something. That means what? So what I am getting here, suppose my number is 4. So 4 divided by what? First of all, you had to do what? Reciprocal. That means 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is nothing but the 0.25. Okay. So that is what we are trying to achieve from here. So here we can use both the things. Okay. Both the things, when I say, when means you can use else block along with try. Okay. Guys, you can see my code here. Earlier somebody has pinged me like by saying like, sir, your screen is not shareable. So just give a one glimpse on it, so that everybody got clarity what exactly I'm trying to do here. I haven't used anything, I haven't done anything. I have used one try. For one try I have used except, that is fine, and one else, nothing else. Okay, fine. So let me go back to my presentation. Now let me just try to cover this one as well. We can also use try with the finally clause. Okay, Okay, before that, let me just share the same screen. Just guys, I just wanted to know one liner from you all. How exactly you can, take the file from your desktop or maybe your in your system. I want one liner. How exactly you can write the syntax. I am going to give you another 2-3 minutes, and everybody has to ping me over my chat by saying like this one is the method. So my intention is to know how many of you are aware about how we can access the file which are present in my local system or maybe which are present in any local path. Okay, how we can access that. First, tell me just how we can open it or we can read it, we can write it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you another 5 to 10 minutes. Sorry, not to say 5-10 minutes, 3 minutes I'm gonna give you, and I need immediate answer from everyone. I haven't received any single messages so far. Once again, I keep on saying the same thing. I haven't received any message, so I'm still waiting for some time. I want to Yeah, so I got some output from you all, so thank you so much. I have actually got right answer, you can say. So yep. So guys, why I'm generally focused on these things, at least you should get awareness about what exactly sir is talking about, what exactly sir is using actually, so that we even I can get much more clarity on you all. Okay, so here you can see, finally clause is an optional clause and can be used with try statement. So when I say optional, that means that can be used. Okay, okay. Now with try statement, now generally it is being used to release the external resources. Okay, so guys, here is the point. It is being used to to release external resources. So how many of you are aware about what is external resources? I don't know how many of you are pretty much aware about that, but yeah, external resources, even I can categorize external resources like, so one way we can say is, what is that? When you try to open, when you wanted to write something on a file, okay, let's say you wanted to write something on a your file, okay, so you must have opened it, right? If you have opened it, that means that particular resource is busy for your doing file operations. Are you getting my point? Yes. So that means your file operation is doing busy with doing IO operations. IO means input and output operations. Okay, basically. Now, second thing, external resources, you can refer it as when I try to log in to the remote desktop, okay, through the network, and I tried to open some files, and maybe I'm trying to access something on over the net. Okay, so there also I have just consumed some resources, because some resources are being allocated to me to do something. Okay, so that is why these kind of operations, or maybe you can say like these kind of resources, we generally talk as external resources. Maybe even you can say like GUI, graphical user interface, that is also one sort of external resources. Okay, so guys, please just think about it, why I'm saying external resources and why I'm trying to give you this kind of example. Now here in my example, I have clearly mentioned, let us assume we are working with file and open it. Okay, so when I say let us assume, that means you need to assume something, and our file is there, and I'm trying to open it, and I wanted to write something here. Okay, now, and maybe there is a chance we may we might have connection to the remote desktop through the network. Let's say this is what I'm talking about. Okay, now these two conditions are there. Now somewhere, let's say somewhere you have forgotten to close that file. Okay, the file which you have opened it, somewhere after some point of time you might have closed to close, you might have forgotten to close that file. That means your resource is still being utilized. And in the same manner, suppose you have logged into the some system through a remote desktop, and then what happens, somehow you got disconnected. So all the resources which you have opened inside that your remote desktop, that are being opened, or that is that those resources are being unutilized now, because you are ideal and you kept it ideal actually. So that is what trying to understand, And even that is what I'm trying to explain you all. So how exactly you can differentiate between these things? Now, not even these, there are many things which are like this. When I say many things, that means it is not only one thing which you will probably say, sir, this is what my external resource. Do you think we can have some other named as external resource? Okay. So basically I must say one thing is, our external resource is nothing but the resource which are available for you for some time through the network or maybe through anywhere else, and you may forgotten to close it, maybe you forgotten to terminate it. So that kind of resources are being unutilized. Nobody is trying to use that. Nobody is trying to open that. Nobody, or maybe they are trying to open it, but it is unable, because suppose somebody has opened the same file in somewhere else and now you are trying to access it. Let's say, let us assume and let us take one example. Some file is present in shared drive and you have already opened that file, and now you have forgotten, you have opened it for entire day, and someone else will come and someone also wanted to open that. Do you think that is gonna available for you all? Do you think like that? No, because that is already being opened by someone and that is not being available. Okay. Now I guess you got my point. Now here I have clearly mentioned the above mentioned both the circumstances. We have to clean up the resource before the program goes to a halt. Okay, whether it ran successfully or not. Okay, that means you have to, at any cost you have to close your program, or maybe you have to close whatever you have opened it. Okay, so guys, that is why I keep on saying you have to think about it. Okay, what exactly I have opened I need to close before logging off, or maybe before you wanted to finish your job. And the closing action, maybe closing a file, disconnecting from the network, need to be performed in the where, in the finally clause. Okay, so that the execution may not get affected. Okay, guys, I hope that gives you somewhat clarity. If you need some time to look into the definition which I have written, please take your time, but at least you should get clarity on the same, because it is very important to know about this. Guys, I hope everybody would be able to understand now. If not, then please do let me know again. I will explain you entire thing which I have covered. Now, I hope I gave you a lot of time. Now it's better for me to explain through the code. Okay. So let me move on to the coding part. Okay. So here in code, I have just given you a glimpse about it. What exactly I have written here, you can look into it. What I have written? I have written one try and one finally. Okay. In try block, I have just written one file. Okay, which I tried to open, and then in the finally block, I tried to close the file which I have opened it. Okay, so guys, I don't know whether you have observed this or not, but I was doing this kind of mistake when I was training you about open open function, or maybe you can say like when I was talking about read and write file. Okay, so I don't know how many of observed that, but that is the fact. So truly speaking, I have done at so many times I have just opened the file and I have forgotten to close that. Okay, but that is not in my habit, truly speaking. Okay, to explain you all, that is why I used to do. So one day what happens, I have done this and I tried to do the same thing on my system again in the night, but I was unable to do. Then I really got to know my all the files are being opened. No, I haven't closed a single file. So then I went there and all the file F2, F2, F9, I have closed all the files. Okay. So that is why I am just saying you all, please, at least you should focus on the topic which I am covering now. Okay, for you all, so that you can get some clarity on this. Okay, guys, getting? I hope you guys are getting clarity day by day. Every day your thinking, or maybe your you can say like your thought process is getting changed. Okay, which is one way I can say like it's good. Okay, so if you guys want, I can code you in front of you all. By the way, I don't want to code because I have already done this sort of coding here for you all. So let me just show you. I guess I have done. Yeah, I have done it. I know I am not sharing anything with you all. Just give me a moment. I will write it down somewhere so that you guys can get. I got some ping from yours, sir. Please explain once again. Okay. So somebody has said, sir, explain. Please explain once again. Okay. No problem. I really don't have any issue with that. Okay, guys, but please, if you have asked me, then please you have to listen it very carefully. Okay, so guys, for others, if you guys are got understood very well, very well, then it is fine, because somebody has pinged me right away and he's saying like, sir, can you explain it again? Okay. So here the topic is, I wanted to use finally with a try. Basically, the finally is a clause. I wanted to use that with a try. How exactly we can do that? So why we need this? Why we need finally? Okay. So in finally you can use for your purpose as well, no doubt. But most of the time, finally people are using to, to release our external resources. To release our external resources, that means, see, you wanted to eat chow mein, but you are waiting for, a spoon. So maybe your mom has prepared you, Maggie, chow mein, you can say, and in your home, let's say, I'm gonna assume, let's say in your home there is only two spoons. One spoon is being used by your younger brother, one is being used by your mom. Now you are waiting for someone to finish their Maggie, then I will get that spoon. So that means you wanted to, release something, or you want to use some resources. The resource here is what? Spoon. So suppose your younger brother has taken a spoon and he has already done, his he has already eaten entire Maggie, everything he has done, but he hasn't returned you what? The spoon. Then what is happening? You have waited for entire day to get that spoon, and your brother has already, eaten everything, and he has kept somewhere else, and he has not been, you know, he has not even, ping you or maybe told you to, take that spoon. That means you are idly sitting somewhere and you are just waiting for that resource, and your resource is being, you know what? Your resource is being not utilized, you can say. Okay, are you getting my point? Yes. So that these kind of resources we used to say like external resources. So what I'm trying to say, if you have opened some file and you are working on it, then please, when you finish your work, please close it. Or maybe there is a way we can say, now we might have connected to the, a remote desktop through the network, basically, and you have opened something or maybe some app or application maybe through a remote desktop, and you have forgotten to close that, or maybe you have forgotten to do anything further. Now that resource is being unutilized, though that is, open already in your remote desktop, but that is not being used at all. Okay. So that kind of situation occurs. Okay. So that is why I have clearly mentioned here, above mentioned both the circumstances, we have to clean up the resource before the program goes to halt, whether it ran successfully or not. The closing action, closing a file and disconnecting from the network, need to perform in the finally clause. So you have to write everything to release your resources inside the finally block. Okay, are you getting my point? Yes, I am thinking so. Now let me write the same code for you all. Okay, let me write try, and then let me write open some file. Let me share with you. Here, let me write open some file, and I have just mentioned encoding. Here, I'm just wanted to close it. Okay, so if you will not write this, let's say you have written like this. Let's say you have just called this one. So here also nothing is wrong here. Just the thing is you have already opened the file, but you haven't closed. Here you are trying to close it. Now let me run this. So first of all, you need to define some file. So file is not there. And you can even make you can just create some file. Let me create on backend so that you will not get some you know scary faces. Otherwise you will say, sir, you taught us something like this, something different than what exactly we used to. So in my notebook, or maybe in your folder, I have multiple files. So I just wanted to use some file for the demo purposes. So I just wanted to use demo file, let's say. So instead of this, let me edit this file name demo file, because that file is already present. So let me do this. Now you can say that this program ran successfully. Okay, it has opened demo file.txt and it has closed it. And generally we forget to close it. Okay, so that means you guys would be able to understand what exactly I have done so far. Okay, any doubts in this? If you have any doubt, please do let me know, because I have covered almost everything. So maybe tomorrow we will be covering what user defined exceptions, how exactly user defined exceptions, what are the types for user defined exceptions. Okay, with this let me just close, or maybe if you have any doubt, please do let me know. Otherwise I'm just wanted to close my session. Okay, so guys, once again I'm gonna ask you all, if you have any doubt, please reach out to me again and again, because what I can see, when you were in college, it would be easier for you to ask multiple times. Okay, so that is why I keep on pushing you all to ask me some question, because right now if you ask a few question, and that has to be logical. Okay guys, anything else which you want me to tell? No, if no, then please do let me know, or else let me just close this session. Guys, I am waiting for your response. Do you want me to continue, or tomorrow we can figure it out? Okay guys, thank you so much for that. I got answers from you all. Everybody is saying understood, sir. Okay, thank you then. Okay, thank you so much, sir. How we know? Okay, sir, how we know that our file is closed or not? Okay, when you try to open the same file again, and you will get error like file is already opened, then you will be able to understand that your file is already in use. Okay, thank you.